going, small gang? My name is Mr. Smiley, and that's right, everybody. We're back on another reaction video right here, everybody. Ooh, yes. It is so close to Halloween, everybody. Got my Superman on. Hey, why not, you know? Where's your costume? What you mean it's not Halloween yet? Anyways, guys, we're reacting. You see it in the title above. We are reacting to Red Reality, everybody. SCP 3001, 301, whatever you want to call it. Red Reality. I've gotten so many people that asked me to react to this. I think it's like continuing on from the last one that I did on the Old Man. Go check that one out. It's really good. So I don't know what to expect on this one, but I heard it's really good to get the tissues out there. But I think we got this. Sonny, are you ready for this? I don't know if he's ready. What you looking up there for? Are you looking at a spider or something? What the mess are you looking up there for? Crazy one, ain't he? Look at the pumpkins back here. We're ready for this. You know what time it is. We got some more reaction videos coming up for you guys. If you're enjoying it, leave that like, comment, all that good stuff. But anyways, I can do a magic trick. Oh, there it is. Oh, actually, it's down here, but oh well. Pretty cool, right? Anyways, let's do it, shall we? Let's get on to it. Red Reality, SCP 3001. This is actually by the Exploration series. Everybody says, oh, I haven't subscribed to them yet. Oh, I'm sorry. Everybody says to do more on the Exploration series and some other ones out there. They've gone into full depth of a lot of it, and I'm just like, whoa, but let's do it.
3001.
Oh.
Red Reality.
Yeah, gotta get that whole thing in there. Let's go.
SCP 3001.
There it is.
Red Reality. What does it mean to be truly alone?
Woo, what does it mean?
You can be alone in a room, in a building, on an island, or on the moon. Or you can be alone in your own mind. But we all live in a world filled with people.
Right.
SCP-3001, on the other hand, shows us an example of an individual that is truly and utterly alone.
Ooh.
Which is a unique case of science fiction, and yet it also manages to be surprisingly grounded in reality.
Dang.
SCP-3001 is not a happy story, but it's also an incomplete one, which leaves us with a sense of hope.
Okay.
The bulk of 3001 takes the form of transcribed logs, so I would suggest reading through it all yourself, but I'll try to strike a balance between summarizing and reading them. To put it simply, SCP-3001 is a non-dimension, accessible through the creation of a specific type of flawed wormhole.
Okay.
Basically, it is a space between dimensions that really shouldn't exist, but was discovered by the SCP Foundation accidentally.
Ooh.
It is believed to extend infinitely in all directions, but possesses no matter of any kind. The non-dimension also has an extremely low Hume level, which is a degree of measurement used by the Foundation to measure the strength or amount of reality in a given area.
Okay.
In other words, our baseline reality has a given level of Hume that we're accustomed to, but certain factors, such as other dimensions or reality benders, can change that level of Hume as things become more or less real, so to speak. What a very low Hume level means for 3001 is that matter that would be located inside the non-dimension decays at an extremely slow rate, and organisms could still function despite taking damage that would normally kill them, up to a certain point. The downside of this, however, is that Hume fields tend to even out, and so prolonged exposure to 3001 will cause an organism's Hume level to drop until they begin to disintegrate. 3001 was discovered in 2000, while Dr. Robert Scranton and his wife, Dr. Anna Lang, were working on a device that would stabilize reality by manipulating Hume levels.
Wow.
Unexpected seismic activity at the site damaged several experimental reality stabilizers, creating one of those specific wormholes, which proceeded to pull Robert into the non-dimension before closing.
Aye.
We are then presented with a large number of logs, transcribed from audio recordings made by Robert. For the first 8 days of Robert being inside 3001, he attempts to navigate the non-dimension to find a way out while going through periods of panic, confusion, and anger.
It's wild.
He eventually makes his way over to a control panel that had gone through the wormhole with him, although he doesn't realize at first that it is actively recording.
Ooh.
He makes several recordings, presumably for his own benefit, as he states his name and date of birth, mentions his favorite color is blue, and his favorite song is Living on a Prayer, and that he loves his wife, Anna. Before long, he notices a flashing light on the control panel, and realizes that the machine is working and recording. He panics and states his name again, asking if anyone can hear him, saying he doesn't know where he is.
Oh.
He's not sure at all how the machine is working, but he's pretty sure that no one can hear him. He also notes how hungry and thirsty he is, saying that he should have died of dehydration by now, an effect of the low Hume level, although it will take Robert some time to realize this. After fiddling with the machine some more, he locates the controls, causing the machine to speak, telling him he's been here for 2 weeks, 3 days, 7 hours, and 58 minutes.
Wow.
Another week goes by, with Robert realizing now that it doesn't seem like he'll die here due to hunger or thirst, and he wonders if by some miracle he'll find his way out of here. 5 weeks go by with Robert barely recording anything, but he comes back and says that he's been trying to learn about this place he's in, referring to it as his prison and his kingdom.
Wow.
He manages to maintain his professionalism, recording a log saying that he's going to document this place as an SCP to maybe help someone else in the future that gets stuck in here. A few days later, he records a log as if it were a standard SCP document about the non-dimension, but we can see the cracks in his mental state beginning to show.
Yo.
The only light source in the entire non-dimension is a small red light on the control panel, so he's been using that as a marker for his explorations. He also notes that he's felt an itch or a tingle across his head recently, but only if he concentrates on it. He next realizes that although he's thought he's been walking on flat ground this whole time, there really shouldn't be anything to walk on in this place.
Yeah.
And now he notes that it's felt more like he's been swimming through something that's been applying pressure, like a thick black gel.
Huh.
He now realizes that by concentrating, he can actually move vertically as well as horizontally, again using the red light as his reference point, or as he calls it, Little Red.
Ooh.
He understands a bit more about the location he's in now, knowing that it was caused by a problem with the reality stabilizer. He does some math, and apparently figures out how low the Hume level of this non-dimension is, but is not sure of the effects of that, as he's mostly worked with above-average Hume levels. At this point, he really begins talking to the red light directly, as if it were a person. He seems to be speaking to it, and imagines responses coming back from it, but this is pretty understandable, given the situation. Robert's scientific mind allows him to keep focus, however, as he continues to perform calculations to help him understand 3001. He learns that the reality stabilizer that sent him and the control panel here cranked up their Hume levels to a few times normal level, meaning that it will take longer for them to equalize with 3001 and disintegrate.
Huh.
By his calculations, he has about 3 years or so before he's gone, and he believes he'll have something figured out by then. The tingling feeling he's had is his Hume level starting to diffuse.
Ooh.
Robert's next log reads, "Hey, Red. I'm gonna have to go for a bit. I want to test something, and you can't come with me.
Oh, he may.
I'm sorry. No, Red, I'm really, really sorry. I want you to come, I do. But if we're together, the diffusion will increase faster."
This is insane. I'm trying to pause real quick and say this. I feel like he's like, look, I don't know, like going insane a little bit because, you know, he's been gone for so long. What would you do in that situation, eh? That's I'm assuming like the red light is the recording thing and all that too, like you mentioned and all that though. And he's making like that as it's a person or it's a thing, it's a living thing that he's communicating with, having a relationship with. That's pretty intense, yo. This is actually a bit relaxing, so I ain't gonna lie, my this music, man, it's so relaxing. It's good. Let's go.
I do, but if we're together, the diffusion will increase faster. We both need as much time as possible. I need to figure this place out more, and you need to make sure you keep all that info in your head. It's... Red, come on.
Oh, wow.
You'll be fine, Red. I know you will. You're tough. A lot tougher than me. It'll only be for a bit, Red, but I need to see if I can find a way to keep us alive a bit longer. Maybe even get us out of here. If I can contain enough field, I can maybe even get us out. No, I'm not sure, but I need to find out. Red, we're talking about possibly escaping, okay? Yeah, it's a gap. A gap should have an end, like the walls of a canyon, understand? I need to find a wall, and then I can... I'm sorry, Red. I hope we're still friends when I come back.
It's wild.
I'm going now. I'll see you soon.
What Red's saying to him?
The control panel didn't record anything for nearly 4 full months.
Wow.
When suddenly Robert returned, far less hopeful than when he left. He says that this place is hell, and it goes on forever. He traveled in a single direction for 2 months before turning around. He then wonders if he let himself fall down long enough, would he eventually hit a bottom? More than 4 months go by before Robert returns again, saying there is no bottom either. This is the point where Robert's mental state really begins to deteriorate, as he asks Red if he's ever been married, or had kids, begging Red to talk to him.
Wow.
He suddenly realizes that his picture of Anna is fading due to the Hume levels, and he panics, begging Anna not to go, and asking Red to go get help. Robert loses coherency at this point, as months go by with him only sobbing, screaming, and mumbling. It has now been roughly 2 years and 9 months since Robert entered SCP-3001.
Wow.
Robert finally manages to return and make another recording, although his voice is now distorted due to both his own and the control panel's Hume levels dropping. He says that he can't feel his legs anymore, and he's not even sure if he's real anymore.
Gee.
But he knows he doesn't want to die yet. He says he went in a straight diagonal line for 6 months, and fell down for 8 months, but still found no end. He tells Red that he and Anna were planning to name their kid Lucy.
Aww.
His hand begins to break apart, resembling a spider web, but he still retains his knowledge of science, continuing to do calculations on 3001. Unfortunately, his body is beginning to seriously disintegrate, as he claims his hands are moving through each other, and he pulls his thumb off.
Oy.
He says he can go through himself, feeling both warm and cold, and also loses a kidney, but pleads to let him keep just his heart. 5 years have passed now,
Wow.
with Robert and the control panel still somehow held together, but finally the red light begins to fade.
Aww. His only thing that he has.
9 months go by, and Red seems to make a return.
Oh.
Robert attempted to kill himself over 220 times, but none of them worked. He can't see his body due to the darkness, but speculates that he at least has 1 foot left, a few leg muscles, maybe a lung, and a heart.
He's got the heart.
He claims that this non-dimension is now getting smaller, as there now seems to be a visible border that is getting brighter. The light from this border allows Robert to see himself, and he says there's so much gone, although the control panel seems to be far more solid than him. Robert claims that touching the panel hurts like hell, but he's surprisingly lucid now. He comes to a realization about the collapsing border, which is acting more like waves, and also begins to understand what we already know about 3001 being a non-dimension between two realities, saying that it's a dead end. Robert says that these waves are from a parallel reality, and they're pushing on him and Red, gradually creating a new wormhole. The only problem is, he's not sure what will happen when that wormhole is created.
Oh, man.
Robert's body continues to break down as blood leaks from him, and he finds himself constantly vomiting, despite not having eaten anything for years, nor having a stomach to hold anything.
Wow.
He says that he's not ready to go back yet, as he's pretty much a floating pile of organs kept functional by 3001.
Wow.
He has to stay away from the waves to prevent him from going through a wormhole and dying. But unfortunately...
Wasn't that what he was trying to do, though? I mean, like, what would you do? I mean, if you don't have anything left?
Control panel
it's crazy.
To prevent him from going through a wormhole and dying. But unfortunately, the control panel will eventually go through. Robert says that he has 5 more years in 3001, during which he will slowly restabilize, giving him 5 years to figure out how to get out. But he'll have to stay in here without his metal companion.
Aww.
A humming pulse begins growing louder in the background, and Robert breaks down in hysterics again, becoming almost incomprehensible as he begs both Red and Anna for support, wanting to hold her hand, and telling her he lost his ring.
Oh.
5 years, 11 months, and 21 days after an incident sent Dr. Robert Scranton into a non-dimension, the stabilizer control panel, thought lost, suddenly reappeared in the testing facility. Dr. Anna Lang, overseeing the testing, went to investigate the panel, horrified at finding it covered in blood, bile, viscera, and hair, identifying the hair color as belonging to Robert.
Ooh.
A hand fell off of the panel, along with a wedding ring, and Anna accessed the first audio log, hearing her husband's voice for the first time in nearly 6 years.
Daggum.
She proceeds to faint from shock. This is where the story of SCP-3001 leaves off, ultimately unfinished and leaving Robert's final fate to your imagination.
Aww.
According to the author, although much of Robert went back to our reality along with the control panel, there is still some of him in 3001, and it's quite possible he's still functional. Will he find a way to eventually return to reality and reunite with his wife? Or will he slowly go completely insane and disintegrate entirely? Those aren't the only options, as some tales have shown, but I think it's good a story like this is left so open to the reader.
Gee.
The concept of being isolated from all human contact is certainly not a new one in fiction, but it's rarely taken to this degree. Not only was Robert left stranded with only a machine to talk to, he was left in near total darkness and had no way of ending his life.
Yeah, it sucks. Like,
chances are we've all felt emotions of loneliness and isolation at one point or another. But at least we're not stuck in the red reality.
What? Oh! Is there more? Quite sobbing. Not yet, Red. Please, I know you want to go. I'm not ready yet. I'm not. A splattering noise heard. I love you, Red. I love you, Anna. Quiet sob. And, Dr. Scranton's speech pattern is almost regular. Loud, metallic banging. Bang heard, followed by the splattering noise as something strikes the control panel once again. 5 years, 11 months, 21 days. What? Dude, you gotta have at least something. I know it's where, like, you come up with your own things. Nice, Patreons. I know you, like, come up with your own things of, like, what happens and all, but I like a good story. And I'm like, I wanna make it as if this guy got out. But the thing is, like, is he functional? You know, like, the red reality was keeping him alive. 3001 was keeping him alive. but only just enough, you know, with hardly any organs and stuff. Like, if he come back to the real world, I don't think he would even last. So it's like, would he want to stay there, you know? I mean, could you imagine, like, being there, though? That's crazy. It's insane. It's wild, but very, very interesting one. I know some people's also said, too, they, to try to do more, like, kind of balancing out with, like, these type of ones and, like, the animation ones. So I'm going to try doing some animation ones next. I've got a couple of them in the reaction, like, requests and stuff, too. I'm going to be hitting up and all that, though. Oh, my goodness, you guys, that was really good. Like, I could see how I get really sad. And it really did. It was just like, oh, man, like, loneliness. Like, it kind of, like, as, like, a metaphor of, like, loneliness that we deal with in every day, you know? Like, how we, like, what goes on in your head and stuff, you know? That's kind of a metaphor, I guess you can think about it. I don't know. I'm just kind of going off on a limb here. But what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments section below, guys. Also, let me know some other cool ones, awesome ones, disturbing ones to react to, because, I mean, there's so many. And I'm just, like, just completely brand new to any of this. And it's really cool. Did not know this was a thing. But anyways, thank you guys so much for coming and hopping on and reacting with me, or, you know, on the reaction video, can't talk, and watching the video with me. My name is Mr. Smiley. We got some more videos coming. Stay tuned, guys. I can't even talk. I don't even know what. You know, Sonny, are you back there still? Yeah, he's there. He's chilling. He's looking at the spider still. But anyways, we're gonna leave it off here, guys. Keep doing your thing, man. I don't even know. I don't know how I'm gonna end this. Anyways, my name is Mr. Smiley. Keep it on the bright side, guys. Keep smiling to the end, and we'll see you in the next one. We'll see ya.